Emily Parekh is the Client Implementation Executive of YOURmeds, an innovative smart medication management solution empowering individuals to take their medications correctly with the support of their loved ones. With widespread adoption by UK councils and over 300 pharmacy partners, YOURmed has now expanded to offer direct-to-consumer services for private purchase through their websites. And Emily is with us here. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Toby. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. So, how does YOURmeds actually work?
So, YOURmeds is a device which will contain the medication that you need to take. So, when the device alarms, a number will appear on the screen and you take your medication. You match the number on the screen to the packs. And I've had people telling me it's like playing bingo.
Yeah.
So, it's taking a stressful and time-consuming task and making it simple and quick to do. If you do not take your medication after 10 minutes, your chosen support network will receive an alert on their app that you have not taken your medication and can prompt you to take it. So it also doesn't require an internet connection. So we're not excluding people who don't have access to Wi-Fi.
That's quite good. What do you think is kind of lacking in the maybe traditional methods? Do you think people tend to forget?
Yeah, so people have very busy lives. Taking medication is a task that we all sort of dread.
Yeah.
And at the moment, there isn't a device that can allow for this sort of real-time monitoring that will notify your support network. So with the standard community packs at the moment, you don't know if your family member is taking their meds correctly. And normally, I know people can be scared of new technologies, so are therefore excluded from them. But we have created a device that's really simple to use. And you're not talking to a robot. We're harnessing the support network that you already have established to prompt you if you forget to take your meds.
Now, what do you think makes YOURmeds stand out as a medication solution?
We are using your support network around you. So the device knows if you have opened a blister and if you've taken the wrong one, if you've taken the right one, or maybe you've taken too many. Your support network will have been notified and they can then prompt you with what to do, whether you need to take the right one or if they need to come over and help you out. We're also tying technology with psychology. So your supporters are nudging their loved ones to make the right choice by taking their meds, because we can't force people to take medication. We can only guide and support around it.
And it's been used by councils across the UK, as I've mentioned in the intro. So how has it been received by the users of it and the healthcare community as a whole?
Yeah, so at the moment, people will have, carers coming in maybe to do med-only visits.
Yeah.
So at YOURmeds, what we can do is we can put the YOURmeds in place and they can now remotely monitor if they're taking their medication correctly. So we have a lady who has been either forgetting whether she's taken her medication, so she's actually ended up double dosing on multiple occasions, and both her and her sister were very worried, and they were going to put these carers in place, but the cost of a carer is around £6,500 a year.
Yeah.
So now that we've got Shirley using the device, not only does she have this peace of mind that she isn't taking too many tablets, her sister, who doesn't live local to her, can see how she's managing her meds. So it's really important, and we're releasing some of that pressure that adult social care services across the UK are facing right now.
And is the device quite easy to use? Because people who take medication will be kind of disproportionately more likely to be elderly and maybe not abreast with technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our current customers tend to be on the older side, but we do actually have customers varying from 25 to 90. So it really is for everyone. And it is super simple to use. It is basically just, a normal blister pack that you'll see from your pharmacies. You just open the blister and take the meds, and that's it. So we have people managing an array of health conditions using the device, like dementia, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases like hypertension, high blood pressure. All of these are long-term conditions, so managing medication is a huge part of people's lives. So we wanted to make something as simple and easy to use as possible.
It's been used by councils, as I say, and pharmacy partners, but it's now been expanded to direct to consumer use So, what's the reasoning behind doing that?
So it also means that just because you aren't being covered by adult social care or in a social services kind of way, you can still use this fantastic technology, and it's really cheap. It's under £1 a day, but how does that cost compare to its value? Like, can you put a price on peace of mind for supporters, not only for yourself, but if you are the person who needs help, to know that your loved ones are going to be less worried about you in taking your meds, you can release some of that pressure from them. Of course, everyone's
Yeah.
always going to worry, but if we can reduce those levels with the right support, then that's what we're here for.
If you add it up, it's £365 a year, which may sound like a lot, but it's cheaper than potential alternatives.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's worth mentioning that the average cost of a care home is really, really high. It can be up to £1,000 a week.
Yeah.
So if you can keep, yourself or your loved one in their home for longer, also, you want to increase independence. You want to empower people around their medication and not make it this really daunting task of taking meds.
Now, how do you plan to reach and educate potential users about the benefits of YOURmeds?
On our website, we have some articles and also on our social media about how important taking medication is and how to ask for help. We also have a prescribing pharmacist, Daniela, on our team, who is doing short educational videos to address the importance of taking medication on time, and also about certain health conditions, about what some of the needs might be that isn't very accessible to people who would need to know more about it. So there's a lot out there, and we are constantly producing new educational videos, but it's just really important education, just to educate people. It's not a shameful thing not being able to take your meds. It's something we want to take the stigma out of, being scared to ask for help.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about most of the people you work with are elderly, and medication management is particularly crucial for demographics like that, as well as people with complex medical conditions. So how does YOURmeds cater to the unique needs of those groups?
So just by simplifying medication, so the pharmacy can fill the device, the packs, and then deliver straight to your doorstep. So you don't have to worry about if you're taking the right medication, because it's all been sorted for you. So we had Darren from Stoke, and he was taking 7 meds a day, and he was getting quite confused. So his daughter was actually going round physically to visit him 4 times a day to making sure he was taking it correctly. And he felt like a burden to his daughter because he was taking time out of her day. But now he's using YOURmeds. She can just remotely monitor him. So she hasn't got that. She's got that peace of mind that he's taking his meds. And if he's not taking them correctly, she knows, and she can then intervene. But with regards to different health conditions, we have people who do have Parkinson's, which makes dexterity, quite difficult in your hands. So the pack is easy to open, but we can also provide other external factors to help you open these packs, like a pill popper. Don't know if you've ever seen them before, but they're very handy to open the pack. So we're always up for catering to different health conditions and improving where needed.
And for those who are maybe visually impaired, are they still able to use it to some extent?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, if you are blind, then you won't be able to use the device as of yet. But the numbers are very big on the pack. We do have people, with cataracts and who are legally blind that are able to use the device.
And that's the thing, in the example you mentioned, something like this really does bring back your independence and boost your self-esteem.
Yeah, absolutely. If you feel that you are now coping with your medication now, then you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more relaxed about it, and you're going to feel better, like physically, because you're taking your medication as it's prescribed. And that is really difficult. And I'm not sure if you have older relatives who are taking meds a day, how are they managing? It's something that it affects everyone.
Yeah, it certainly does. With over 300 pharmacy partners, you've established some strong relationships in the healthcare industry. So how do these partnerships themselves benefit the end users?
So by keeping it within the community, so people, they like their pharmacy, they trust them, and it's built about building this relationship. So if we can harness that, people love, walking into their pharmacy and saying hello and
Yeah.
having that connection, because around meds it's really stressful and it can be dangerous, if you're not doing it right. So with our lovely pharmacy partners, they can also then identify people who might benefit from using the device, because they work so closely with their patients. They know who would then benefit from using YOURmeds, and we can build on that, and we can then intervene and put it in place.
Yes. And you mentioned this man in Stoke, but are there any other success stories that you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually had a lady whose child is suffering with learning disabilities and he wanted to go to university, but they were unsure because of how much support was needed around the medication. But now, by using YOURmeds, she's able to remotely monitor her child, and now he's doing great. So to be able to have a device like this that is allowing someone to live their best life, and do that it's really heartwarming, to be honest. And we've had another lady from Manchester. She is her husband's primary carer because he has advanced dementia. So she was actually hospitalized after not taking her meds correctly. But now that she's using YOURmeds, she's gained the independence she needs to care for her husband. So looking after herself to be able to take care of her husband is something that I'm sure a lot of people are painfully aware of, but you need to look after yourself in order to look after someone.
Yes, you put your own mask on before helping others.
Absolutely. Like on the planes. Yeah. It's the same thing. Your health is so important.
That's the thing, I suppose. YOURmeds is not just benefiting the people who are taking the medication, but it's benefiting everybody around them.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is, you might not recognise if you need support taking your medication, but your family might. So it's just building on those relationships. And I can't stress how important enough it is to support yourself or your loved one at the first sign of struggling. Really, really is important.
Now, what are some of the future plans for YOURmeds? Are there any plans to kind of expand it?
Yeah, so with our remote monitoring, the NHS actually have virtual wards, and they are able to put devices such as blood pressure monitors in people's homes to keep them out of hospital, rather than them having to come into hospital and have all these tests done. They can do it via Bluetooth and internet. So we plan to utilise this, putting this device in people's homes, so the NHS can now monitor how adherent people are being with their medication. So it's really exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's fascinating. A virtual ward. So is that kind of like they're just at home, but they're being monitored all the time?
Yes, yeah. So you put your blood pressure monitor on and takes your blood pressure, sends the reading off to whoever needs to see it within the NHS, and they can say, yep, all good, or nope, we need to do something here. So it saves all the waiting times in the hospitals they're under a crazy amount of stress. So we want to be able to use these virtual wards to help people remotely.
And you want to just be at home, don't you? You don't want to be in hospital.
Absolutely. No, I know everyone dreads going to hospital. No one wants to be there. So we want to encourage people to take that step and say, look, I want to stay at home for longer. I want to be independent. Let me sort my medication out, because I can guarantee that by sorting that can help ease a lot of problems. Part of the strategy to healthy aging and what we talk about with healthy aging and staying at home for longer.
Well, where are we able to find everything that we need to find out about YOURmeds?
So on our website at yourmeds.net, so that's YOURmeds.net, and also our social media handles, they will all be on there as well, with lots of information. And if you are unsure if this is right for you, give us a call. We are more than happy to talk to you and see what plan we can put in place for you.
Excellent. Well, many thanks for talking to us today. It's been great having you here.
Thank you.